The following podcast has been recorded by LIM.
From taverns across Chicagoland to St. Joe's Park in Joliet to the world of podcasting, they're upholding the good name of Chet Gunderson and letting the old styles flow. They are the lovely, intoxicated men. And this is the Lovely Intoxicated Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back and we're better than ever because Double J is not here this week. This is still the Lovely Intoxicated Podcast, episode 7, Night of the Masters of Debating. I am PX, your host and the leader, the proud leader of the LIM. And Tony Gabagool, why don't you tell the people your name?
So this is a debate, Pac-Man? That's what we're doing tonight?
This is the night of the Masters of Debating.
Honestly, the only thing we should be debating right now is how much longer you're going to be in charge of the LIM.
Whoa. Look.
Let me stop you right there.
Right.
Where do you get off going behind my back talking about me, Pac-Man?
Going behind your back, I said it on a podcast so you could listen to the JFW
going over
podcast.
My fucking head on the JFW, saying that I don't have accountability. Me, Tony Gabagool, that I don't have accountability for my own actions.
Well, here's the thing. Everything with Wave 3 against JFW would have been fine had it not been for you going into business for yourself, wrecking it, making Josh cancel it 90 minutes in. 90 minutes. And it's
I don't know if you know this, Pac-Man. I don't know if you know this, but maybe you need to be reminded. But there wouldn't be an LIM. You wouldn't have an LIM without me, okay? I made this all possible. I'm what fucking counts out here, Pac-Man, okay? Not your breakfast with wrestlers, not your JFW co-hosting. You put us to war with JFW back in March, and now you're over there kissing Travis and Nubby's asses, okay? You only exist because of me, Pac-Man. Without me, every wise guy, every rocket girl, and every white girl wasted would be taking a bite out of your ass, pal.
Well, here's the thing. Nubby is part of LIM, so I'm not really kissing his ass.
You've been warned, Pac-Man. Don't go over my head ever again.
Whatever. All right, so we have a debate, and Maximus, Orion, and JR Lindsey will be joining us shortly. So it's just two of us making these decisions.
You know what? I think I need to call in some backup.
Okay. Yeah. Oh crap!
Give me a second.
Oh, go. I. Who are you bringing into this?
Call in some backup.
I mean, is this going to be another one of those you give Danny the list and then Danny brings in like no coast? Is this going to be one of those situations?
No. Yep, there he goes. He should be here any second.
All right. Oh, jeez. He's here. At least it's not Double J.
It's what I meant when I said backup. Hey, Simp, can you hear me?
How are you, gentlemen?
I'm doing good. Better now that you're here.
I'm worse now that you're here. So, really quickly, gentlemen, before we bring them in, I sent Tony the rubric on how we are going to grade these Masters of Debating. And, you should have it. And then that's what we're going to use. And I stumbled over that whole thing because I'm drunk.
I'm not a fan of rhubarb, and I don't know why you would send me rhubarb.
It's a delicious dish. It's just a delicious dish.
But I did get a text message from you, so I got the questions. These are some pretty tough questions. Are you sure these guys are going to be able to handle it?
I think these guys will be able to handle it. There's a lot on the line in this debate.
What's the prize?
The prize, I will explain to you. It is what's on the line. if Maximus Orion wins, J.R. Lindsey cannot do the Russell Shuffle for 30 days. And if Maximus Orion loses and Russell wins, then what's going to happen is that on the next Rocket Pro Wrestling Twitch stream, which you can find on the Sling Blade Twitch channel, Maximus Orion is going to have to say that J.R. Lindsey is the man and that anime is better and anime and Pokemon is better than Star Wars. So there is a lot on the line for these men. Now, without further ado, let's introduce the masters of debating and why we're all here today. First of all, we have the sun, but not only the sun, also the air. Ladies and gentlemen, former Rocket Pro Wrestling Inter-County Champion Maximus Orion.
There he is.
Slow
There
clap.
he is.
Yeah.
Look at
How's it
that.
going? PX.
Hello,
Tony
sir.
Gabagool.
How you doing, Max?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Looking good, looking sharp.
Thank you. I had to find my
He's in a
my
finest
Star
suit.
Wars tie.
Wow.
Actually, yeah. So as you can see, I'm here. I'm on the Imperial cruiser right now. So yeah, Simp, how are you, sir? Loving the background.
Yeah, got his tongue. Yeah, I heard the Imperial cruiser is a lot more luxury to ride in as opposed to Southwest Airlines nowadays. But
Ayo,
Oh,
topical humor.
definitely, yes. Just ask my
Topical
dad how
humor.
Southwest was when he tried to get down to Florida with us 2 weeks ago. That was, yeah.
terrible.
I'm going to tell you, your dad flew up higher than Brooks Burner's water bottle back in January.
And that's hard to do.
That is
Unfathomable.
very hard to do.
And Brooks Burner's water bottle didn't have to pay nothing. I can tell you that much to get up that high. So,
now, here's the question. Is it still stuck there?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's on a layover.
100%. Yeah, no, it's
So,
there.
layover in Joliet.
I'm surprised that crabby lady at the park wasn't like, why is there a water bottle in the ceiling? So,
Now, Maximus Orion, are you ready for us to bring in your opponent?
oh, of course.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, his opponent was born with a gift. Millions too. Battles on the inside. He was a dark horse by himself. Battle scars, but he went from rags to riches, and now he's stronger because of Mission Incredible. He's a young legend. He's proud of himself. What's love? All right, this is none other than the Slayer of Orion, the self-proclaimed and all-time greatest, J.R. Lindsey. How you doing?
Hey man, hallelujah, brother. Feeling rustastic as usual. I'm ready to slay Orion and put him down once and for all and end this.
You know, I just read off every track from BMW to introduce you. Great track.
BMW?
Yes, that's his album. You
Oh,
can find it on Apple
That sounds
Music,
about right.
Spotify. It's terrific.
Is
It
that
actually stands
is that
for Boy Meets World.
so we got two copyrighted things going on there. BMW and Boy Meets World. Great job.
Sir,
It's
please
a twofer.
mind your business.
Russell? JR? Did you grow a mustache since Saturday?
Puberty, man, you know these things are unpredictable, man. They can hit you when you're 40 or they can hit you when you're 12, man. That came to me at 23.
It hit you, but it looks like it's having a hard time sticking to your face.
That is true.
You know what? Let me tell you something, Maximus. I'm trying to have a peaceful debate, okay? I'm trying to be respectful. That's already hard enough for me being civilized. If you want things to stay peaceful, I suggest you keep your mouth shut.
Okay.
All right, gentlemen, we're going to read the rules. So each of you guys will get a 2-minute opening statement and a 2-minute closing statement. And a coin flip is going to determine who's first. And we're going to determine that shortly. We're going to have 2-minute responses to each question and the 2-minute rebuttal period where you folks can talk to each other. We have 3 different topics. Star Wars versus anime / Pokemon, wrestling, and potpourri, where we will take questions that we've received from members of the Rocket Pro Wrestling fan community. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the coin flip. J.R. Lindsey. Heads or tails?
I'm always going with heads for obvious reasons.
El Snow would approve.
Knowing PX is going to stay on its side.
It's heads.
Amen.
So, do you want to go first with your opening statement, or do you want Maximus Orion to start with his opening statement?
You know what? I'm feeling generous. Ladies first. Maximus can go first.
So you're going to start, Russell, or what?
You can go first.
Oh, well, you said ladies first, so I thought that
Yeah,
meant
that
you were
Pat-
starting. I'm
Oh!
sorry.
I was
sorry.
being a gentleman, letting you go first. That's why.
Yeah, I
said
know.
ladies
Well, you
first.
should have just taken the coin toss. It's not Family Feud. You want to pass a play? It's not that. So, all right, then I guess I will start. I get to use my cousin Vinny line now, but that's all right. So I'm going to start with the fact that just like any other great film franchise, much of the success that Star Wars has is mainly based on the premise of the classic good versus evil, but not only the good versus evil, but you also have multiple interwoven subplots, whether that's drama, a love story, even some slight comedy, and obviously action.
I'm already bored. What is he talking about?
Hey, give him his time to speak.
So not only that, but Star Wars, because of how long it's been running, I think we're almost pushing 50 years soon. It is a generation. It brings the gaps of the generations together. So it's something that, my dad grew up watching because of the originals in the 70s and 80s. And then I was born in 97. So I was born right into episode 1, 2, 3. And we connected because of that. And not only because we were born when movies came out, but because you have, father and son is like the theme throughout all of it. Whether in the prequels, it's Obi-Wan and Anakin, or in the originals, it's Luke and Vader. And then in the sequels, you have Han and Kylo Ren. So not only that, but because they continuously bring out new Star Wars products, I believe when The Force Awakens dropped in 2015, I think it was Walmart or Target, their advertising campaign was a new generation of fans is born. So therefore, the people that were just born, the 4-year-olds, now have something that they love in common with even their 60-year-old grandfather, because he went to see the original in 1977. So not only does it bridge the generation gaps, it tells you multiple stories. It's just now it's an instantly recognizable thing. If you're in a parade and you see a stormtrooper, you see Darth Vader, you might not be a fan, but you know exactly what it is, and all the kids are going to be cheering as they're walking down the street. It is an instant recognition, and it brings families together, whether it's at the theme park that Disney has built, which I was just there and I can say that it is amazing. You don't even have to be a Star Wars fan to enjoy that theme park, whether it's the food, the themed drinks, everything. It brings families closer together. You can get great friends from going to Comic-Cons or doing any of this other thing where there's Star Wars stuff there. And overall, it is just like, I would say, one of the most, if not the most known, whether it's liked or not, franchise that there has ever been. So I will close with that, my opening statement.
JR, your opening statement.
He's on mute.
He's on mute, Pat.
I didn't mute him. Simp, did you mute JR Lindsey?
Simp would never do that.
He keeps doing all this crazy stuff, so wouldn't surprise me if he's the one that is responsible for messing up this debate. Gabagool, why would you bring him in when he's been messing up stuff within the LIM?
We need an unbiased opinion. JR, sir, can you hear us?
I haven't done anything.
I can hear you. And can you hear me is the question.
Yes.
We
I
can hear you.
Those lovely pipes are talking, okay?
Thank you. Okay, here's my opening statement. At the end of the day, entertainment is founded on what? Business. Big business. If it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense. We all know that. So when we compare the impact of companies or organizations and the power that they have and what they've done and what they've done for other people, we have to look at the numbers because that's what it's all about. It's all about the numbers. And I did a little bit of research today and I got some numbers for you.
Oh,
If you look at the Pokemon franchise's net worth, it currently stands at $92,121,000,000. Now, I've also researched on the other side of things. Star Wars, as great of a company as it is, sits at a net worth of $70 billion. Now, that's a over $20 billion difference. Now, here's the thing. When people go in the stores, people go into Walmart, Target, they're going to see a whole bunch of Star Wars movies on the shelves, and they're going to see lightsabers and all of that stuff. But they're also going to see Pokemon cards. They're going to see action figures. They're going to see plush. And even though Star Wars dominates the movie world, they still, despite all of those advantages, still cannot top Pokemon and anime as a whole. That is my opening statement.
You guys want to do a round of crosstalk before we get into the first official question? The time is now yours.
Let me tell you something, Maximus. I don't know who you think you are, but let me tell you who you really are. You're a punk, you're a nerd, and you don't know anything about Star Wars or Pokemon. Do you understand? I was born to win. I'm gonna win this debate. I've already won.
You might be correct in saying that I don't know much about Pokemon, but saying I don't know much about Star Wars, that's a huge stretch.
You're just a fanboy wearing a costume, sucker.
Actually, I'm wearing a suit. So, you can take the $92 billion thing, and that's great. I will give Pokemon that.
Yes,
and
yes, we're doing very.
I mean,
good
it's a
over
fact. I can't really deny it.
Doing very good over here financially.
Yes, you are, but it also, I have seen working at a school. I have seen, and obviously there's kids that are fans of both Star Wars and Pokemon and Teenage Mutant Ninja, everything, SpongeBob, right? When there was a period where there was a bunch of this first and second graders, when all they would bring to school was the books full of the Pokemon cards, right? And they would show me like someone that's all golden and stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's really cool, because I have to pretend to care. And they would show it to me and I would go, oh, well, who, because unless it's Pikachu or, one of the really famous ones, I don't know who it is. And I'd be like, oh, who is that? And they'd be like, I don't know. I like it because it's a gold card. So kids are going into the store, buying this stuff off of the shelf, this Pokemon stuff, because their friend Bobby at school, who is the Pokemon guy, has this stuff and they want it too. They don't even know what they're buying. And their parents are like, fine, here's my credit card, whatever. And they buy them these Pokemon cards. And not even a month later, that stuff is buried in the crevices of the couch. It's sucked up in the vacuum cleaner. The dog has, ripped it to shreds. It's downstairs under the Xbox. It's somewhere. But when somebody goes to the store and they buy a lightsaber, they know damn well what they're buying and what they're buying it for. So you might have more money spent, but they don't understand the quality of what they have.
Is that all you have to say?
Well, for now.
Okay.
I was letting you go now.
How much more time do we have before we get into the first question? Because I'm about to unload research on him that he was not ready for.
I'll let you have this.
Can you take your high school fucking football? Oh, sorry. Can you take your high school rings off first?
Sir?
A little bit of my gaming slipped out there. Sorry.
Hey, all good.
Sir,
we have a 1F.
These rings make me the all-time great, okay? That face paint makes you a dork. We're two different people. We're not the same.
Sir, you're wearing a digital mustache.
What makes you think my mustache is fake?
Move to the left a little bit.
What makes you think my mustache is fake?
Oh, fuck.
The fact that it just went up to your eyebrows and you look like Santino Morella for half a second.
Santino Morella, an Italian hero.
Do I look like the type of person that would have to wear a fake mustache?
Yeah.
I didn't say fake. I said digital.
Digital mustache?
Yes.
Yes.
Who else said yes?
It was SIMP.
That's the
So
SIMP.
anyway,
So here we go. We're gonna get into the first.
Pac-Man, real quick. I ran some numbers. I just was fact checking as things were coming out. I did confirm that the Pokemon franchise has a net worth of 92 billion.
yes,
Star Wars currently at 70 billion. So
Yes.
absolutely.
That is true. I did look that up as well. Yes.
Hey, you want to talk about some other facts? It was funny. He mentioned how people go and buy things. Let's talk about buying things for a minute. Let's talk about purchases.
Okay.
Yeah. So one thing that Star Wars and Pokemon have in common is the video game world, right?
Yes. Yep.
They both sell video games, right?
They do. Yes.
And people go out and buy them, right?
Oh, 100%.
I would like to think that. But here's where we get confused. I did a little research and I searched up the top 10 Star Wars games.
Yeah.
And the amount of copies they sold.
Mhm.
And would you like to know what I found out?
Sure, go ahead. Yeah.
Here's what I found out, William. Sitting at number 10, I'm gonna run down all 10 for you.
So you're going 10-1?
Yes.
Okay.
You can count that far, right?
Well,
I know you
considering
work-
it's up, yes.
I know you work at a school, so I would expect you to know that.
Yes, I can. Yeah, I can. Yep.
I know you're teaching these kids how to Russell shuffle. I don't know if you're teaching them how to count or not. But anyway, there we go, baby. There we
Hey,
go.
speaking of the Russell Shuffle, I want to talk about our first sponsor this episode. Have you ever been playing cards with your friend and there's always that one jagoff that doesn't know how to shuffle the cards? You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, me.
Yeah, it's you,
I'm
Ben.
that Jagoff.
I want to talk to you guys today about the brand new Russell Card Shuffler. It's for all those people who can't shuffle the cards.
Yeah,
They'll be
You get it,
shuffling
baby.
away.
you understand.
Texas holding them.
Yeah.
And speaking of 92 billion, if you use the promo code now, all time great, you can take an additional 92% off your first order. Thank
I
you.
get royalties.
I need that in
Do
my life.
I get royalties?
Yeah.
We'll talk after.
Okay, cool. Now back to my argument. Number 10 sits at Star Wars: The Old Republic. It
Yep.
sold 5 million copies.
That it
Okay.
did.
Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, sold 5 million copies.
Yep.
Number 8, Lego Star Wars, the video game, sold 6.70 million copies. Keep it with me. Lego Star Wars 3, The Clone Wars, sold 7.33 million. Number 6, we're sitting at Lego Star Wars 2. It's funny they have to rely on Lego games. Pokemon would never. Lego Star Wars
Nobody
2,
would waste their time making a Pokemon Lego game.
Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy, sits at 8.2 million. Number 5, Star Wars: The Force Unleashed, sits at 9.41 million. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order sits at number 4 at 10 million. Star Wars Battlefront 2 sits at 10.53.
Which Battlefront 2?
Battlefront
Which one?
2005 or 2017?
17.
Okay. Makes sense.
Star Wars Battlefront 1 sits at 14 million. And at number 1, we have Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga, 15 million. Okay.
All right.
Now, there's a top 20 list for Pokemon games, and number 20 already sits high up on the list that Star Wars was on. Number 20 for Pokemon is Pokemon Emerald at 7 million. So we're coming in hot, okay? Your last one, your top 10 doesn't even come close to the top 20 for Pokemon. Let's just leave that out there. Your top 10 was 5 million and something. At number 20 for Pokemon, we're sitting at 7 million. Do you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth, sucker?
Does it
You- can you
differentiate
cover it?
between countries? Because I know most of the sales for Star Wars were all United States. The other ones were only solely Japan.
Hey,
I guarantee it.
Listen, are we talking numbers in certain areas? Or are we talking numbers?
I mean, the mass production in Japan is kind of a playing factor to that. Also, the price of the game
Well,
is
right
also
now-
a playing factor to that
right
because
now-
if most Star Wars games are upwards of $50-$60, you're going to sell less copies in a game that is either free or $20.
Right now,
Because I guarantee Fortnite has more downloads than any Star Wars game and Pokemon game combined, and that's not a better game.
right now you're mass producing excuses. If I can finish my argument, sir,
Uh-huh.
I don't even need to run down the 20 list.
You
I'm
go to
just
one,
gonna-
though. Go to one.
Oh, trust me, that's exactly where I was going.
Oh, okay.
At number
All right. As long
one-
as you were going there, because I didn't want to hear the whole list.
At number 1, we're sitting at Pokemon Red, Green, and Blue, 31.38 million.
And here's what system was that on? Do you know by chance?
That doesn't matter.
It kind of does.
William,
It kind of does.
I'm hitting you with facts right now.
Because all I'm going to say is
William.
every single
Hold
game
on,
you just
William.
named
William,
for Star
hold
Wars
on,
is
William.
well known.
Hold on, William.
I never heard of Red,
Right
Green,
now-
Blue, or whatever the hell you just said for Pokemon, yet it sold 7,000 million trillion copies. I never heard of that.
That's
Ever.
the thing. That's the power
Ever.
of Pokemon.
I guarantee I could text my group chat right now and
I
they
have.
wouldn't know what the hell that game is either.
Well, if they're a bunch of Star Wars fanboys like you, I wouldn't expect
No,
it
not
to.
all of them. There's 2 of them that absolutely hate Star Wars. So,
Gentlemen, I have unleashed fact upon fact upon fact and stat upon stat upon stat on this man. And his
where's
face is-
Pokemon's
hold
theme
on.
park?
He's just sitting there. We don't need it. That's the thing.
Oh, because
we're
nobody
sitting
wants it.
We're sitting
That's
at
right.
almost $100 billion,
Nobody wants it.
and we don't even need an amusement park. Star Wars is pulling out all the stops: amusement parks, action figures, lightsabers, movies, TV
Yeah,
shows.
because people actually
cartoons.
want that stuff.
And what does Pokemon need? Pokemon only
Just
needs
cards
trading
that
cards
little
and-
kids don't know what they're
trading
doing.
trading cards, video games, and animes.
Okay. Pokemon
All right.
cards are used by 2 different demographics of people.
called
Little
work smarter.
kids
It's
and then
called
fat
work
guys who
smarter,
live in their
not
mom's
harder.
basement and do Dungeons and Dragons role play. That's who uses Pokemon cards.
Yeah, and
Hey,
Star
I
Wars,
live in a
Star
basement.
Wars, Star Wars is for
Yeah.
virgins. Hold on. Star Wars is for virgins who needed entertainment after Star Trek fell
Is
off.
that what you would call George? You know, he has like 5 kids or something. And that's the creator of Star Wars.
William?
Mustache McGee.
Hey, how about we
Maximus-
just
Hey,
go on-
wait, is that
Maximus-
you guys
Hey,
ready?
I'll tell you what.
Topics?
Hey, I tell you what. When you retitled, I want you to retitle this after it's done, and I want you to call it J.R. Lindsey versus Maximus Blow Ryan because he sucks. He sucks right now. He's putting his lips to work because he sucks.
Oh,
All right,
High school
so-
rings.
We are going to move on to the next question in our Star Wars versus anime / Pokemon.
Like a
And don't
fucking
question-
Dyson, okay? It's like a Dyson.
Is this another ad? What are you doing?
No, I'm just showing off my Dyson.
Oh, okay.
All right,
don't-
Clothes
and
and
don't
You said
ever-
that's so Italian. I've never heard Dyson said so Italian before.
So
And
we
don't
have
ever
Dyson.
question my mustache again.
the next
The
question.
computer's questioning your mustache right now.
So we have a question. We have lost control of the debate, and it's barely even started.
You might have to cut that part out.
No, we'll
Oh,
keep it in.
geez.
Oh,
Keep it in.
no.
Keep
Okay.
it in.
That's the
All right.
Snyder cut.
All right, so we have the next set of questions. Now, this question we're going to start with Maximus Orion.
Okay.
Who shot first, Han or Greedo,
Han.
and why?
Because in the original release of the 1977 A New Hope, or as was called then, only Star Wars, the shot was a simple, you didn't even really see what was going on per se. You kind of just saw the smoke, you heard the blaster noise, and then Greedo fell down on the table. And because George Lucas, the character of Han Solo was so loved by the fans and the kids and everything, he didn't want Han to seem like the bad guy. So what they did was freeze frame it for the new digital release. It was like 1997 or something. They freeze frame a shot, and if you watch it, Greedo's doesn't move, but the blaster shot comes out of his thing. Han's head almost comes off of his neck and moves to the right, and then the shot hits and his head moves back instantly, and then he fires from under the table, and it continues from where the original left off. So Han did shoot first. I don't care who says it. I don't care what George Lucas says or what he changed it to. The original 1977 cut, which I have both on VHS and 16 millimeter in the other room, Han, it's clear that he shot first, but it's a very, very close up of just smoke and a blaster shot. But Han Solo shot first because he's Han Solo. He's a badass, and he knew he was going to try to kill him, so he just shot first. He's a smuggler by trade. That's what he is.
J.R. Lindsey, your response?
I hate being in a position like this, but unfortunately, I agree with Maximus Orion. Han shot Greedo because he was placed in a position where he felt like his life was being threatened. And in an alternate universe, there exists a time where people think Greedo shot first. But I'm here to deliver the bad news. Han shot first. And that's the bottom line.
The Stone Cold said so.
The Stone Cold said so.
Thank you. Now, how about this? What was the most dominant victory? Okay, Ash finally winning the Pokemon League, or Luke defeating Vader and Vader killing the Emperor? JR, how about we start with you?
I'm going to say Ash finally winning the Pokemon League, and here's why. Everyone here is a fan of wrestling, right?
Right.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're getting somewhere. And what at the heart of pro wrestling is what? Storytelling.
Correct.
The best form of storytelling is what? Long-term storytelling.
Damn right.
Ash's journey began in 1997 when he fought in the first league in Generation 2 with a small team of Pokemon. He would proceed to fight in 6 leagues after that and fail every single time until 2019 came, the 7th Pokemon League, and he finally won and became victorious and became a Pokemon champion. That's been a moment people have waited over a decade for. This has been a moment that generations have lived to see through.
Over 2
My
decades.
grandfather can't even say he saw Ash win his first Pokemon League, but I can say that. And when I have kids, I'll be able to tell them, when I was 19 years old, Ash won his first Pokemon League.
Maximus, what's your take on this question?
So obviously I'm going to side with the better one being Luke defeating Vader and Vader defeating the Emperor, because as Russell said, and I will agree with this, long-term storytelling. Now, if we go in canon order, when Qui-Gon found Anakin was born to his mother, and there was no father. He was made by the Force. He was made by, if you read deeper, by the wills of the Force is actually what it is. And he was made as the chosen one to bring balance. It didn't say how. It just said he will bring balance. They thought that meant only the end of the Sith. But if you watch Revenge of the Sith, I mean, obviously there's other legends and canon stuff, but really in the movies, how many are there? There is 2 Jedi left, and there is 2 Sith left. Obi-Wan and Yoda, Darth Vader and Darth Sidious. That's balanced, if you think about it. Not only that, but then now the Force has to fix itself by giving you 2 children. 2 and 2. Luke, Leia. Luke is the only one that really does end up following the full path of the Jedi. And when he does, not only does he save his father at the end of it and bring him back to the light side, Vader then throws the Emperor over the railing, ultimately killing him until you get to the Rise of Skywalker. Then creating balance in the Force. So that was, I believe, when Anakin was born to when Luke defeats him is about between 45 and 50 years. So
was going to be my follow-up.
that's some pretty long-term storytelling. And you know what? For everything that they went through, bringing up Anakin and him falling in love with Padme and breaking the Jedi code and trying to protect her but falling under the seduction of the dark side, killing all of the Jedi, having these clones ready with a microchip in their head to execute Order 66 and kill all their Jedi generals, then to have this whole empire grow from under them, then a rebellion grow to defeat them, and then after that, a new republic starts up, and then a First Order rises to try to take them down, which then they fail as well. I would say that that's some pretty damn good long-term storytelling, and why that whole thing with Luke and Vader is, I would say, a lot more important than the Ash storyline, simply because that's about one person. This is about the balance of the universe, the balance of the Force. Everybody is in jeopardy because of this one character and being defeated by his kid and bringing balance back to the Force.
All right, we're going to start our 2-minute crosstalk rebuttal period.
So here's the thing about what he just said. He's trying to overhype the significance of what happened with Star Wars, but he fails to realize the moment of Ash winning the Pokemon League is a moment that brought people to tears. This moment brought children, teenagers, adults, and senior citizens to tears. It was a viral moment all over Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and TikTok. Pokemon as a whole holds way more significance than Star Wars. In 1999, Pikachu was ranked by Time magazine as the second best person in the world. Pikachu also boasts a Google search number of almost 800,000 monthly Google searches. I think right now Pikachu stands at about 786,000 Google searches. The proof is in the pudding. These moments in Pokemon are moments that live with people forever. The moment that he's talking about, people are going to forget it as soon as the next big bad villain comes in Star Wars and becomes hard to conquer. But these moments in Pokemon live forever because everyone wants to be a Pokemon trainer. Not everyone wants to be a Sith or a Jedi.
So I'm going to say that they already brought
Pokemon
back
Master.
a big, powerful, bad being in both Kylo Ren and Snoke. And I can say, compared to Darth Vader, nobody gives a crap at all. I had to think of proper words there for you. It's just, you said it brought people to tears. Do you think that there was actually people in the theater that didn't get emotional when Luke finally defeated his father and then he screamed no when the Emperor was shocking his only son, and then he sacrificed everything, including his own body, because he knew that Palpatine's Force lightning would disable all of his circuits and cause him to lose his life and not be able to breathe, threw him over the ledge. So he gave his own life after having his ass kicked by his only Jedi at the time, child. He gave his life so that balance could be brought back to the Force. But you think that him being the ultimate, I've never watched it, so if I'm getting the terminology wrong, I truly apologize. But him being the winning that thing, the ultimate whatever, people might have gotten emotional. I'm going to tell you one thing right now. There is more people that have heard of Darth Vader being defeated by Luke Skywalker than whatever you were just talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about, and I guarantee if I text my friends, they'd have to think about it for 20 minutes before they even came up with a thing. But if I text anybody, the Luke versus Vader stuff, they'll understand. And if you listen to the music behind it that was written by the greatest musical composer ever, John Williams, it's emotional just listening to the soundtrack, let alone watching the fight and watching what happens between Luke and his father.
All right, so Simp has the next question. And this is the last of the Star Wars versus Pokemon round. Take your time. It's just a debate.
Who is the best companion, Pikachu or Chewbacca?
Pikachu. And that's not even close.
Explain.
If you would have asked anyone on Facebook, matter of fact, if you really wanted to test it, I dare you to start a poll on Facebook after this and ask them, who would you rather have as a best friend, Pikachu or Chewbacca? No matter how popular you think Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker or Obi-Wan Kenobi or whoever else is, everybody knows who Pikachu is. Everyone wants a Pikachu. People have campaigned for Pikachu to become an official starter in the video games when they give you the option between fire, water, and grass types. When Pokemon introduced the gimmick of Mega Evolution, where Pokemon had to be in their final stages and then further evolve after that, Pikachu is a middle stage evolution, but his popularity is so high, people campaign for them to break the rules of the gimmick and give Pikachu a Mega Evolution. There are tons of Pikachu plush. Pikachu is the #1 Pokemon seller for the company. And like I said before, he sits at almost 800,000 Google searches monthly.
Because nobody knows who he is?
You want to tell me how many? No, it's because a lot of people know who he is. You want to tell me how many people search up Chewbacca every month?
Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. The fact that came down to him asking the question between your most important Pikachu and one of the middle class heroes from Star Wars, that says a lot.
No, this is the thing. This is where you're wrong. That's actually a perfectly fair argument because Pikachu is only a main character because the fans gravitated him and made him that. Pikachu was originally supposed to be just another mid-stage Pokemon. At the end of the day, Chewbacca is a companion in Star Wars. Pikachu is a companion, a popular companion in Pokemon. Okay. It's just a matter of their popularity.
Here's what I'm going to say.
It's a matter of their popularity being taken to different heights.
I agree with the fact that Pikachu is more popular. I will 100% agree with that because of just how much he's carried that franchise. Let's be honest. If there was no Pikachu, their Pokemon would not be as successful as it is
Oh
right now.
no, that's not true. I can
So,
name you. I can name you 3 more Pokemon.
You
I
talked.
can name you
You
3 more
talked.
Pokemon
You talked.
that
You
carry
talked. Put
the
your mustache
franchise.
on.
Give
All right.
the man this space.
So here's here's what I'm gonna say. Chewbacca, like I already gave Russell his credit with saying that Pikachu is very much more popular. Okay, but Chewbacca is also easily as recognizable. Maybe not his name, but they're like, that's the thing from Star Wars. Everybody will say that. So if we're talking companionship within the franchise, Chewbacca on countless times has fixed the Millennium Falcon. Countless times. And he is, in multiple trilogies, the co-pilot on the most famous ship out of the Star Wars franchise. He's the one. I mean, come on, Chewie, punch it. That's like literally the one thing, because he's the captain. He's the co-pilot that does the hyperspace. If Chewbacca is there, you're going to be just fine. I mean, he helped save Yoda and get him off Kashyyyk in episode 3 during Order 66. He helped Han get Luke and Leia off of the Death Star. He was co-piloting with Han to, take out Darth Vader's 2 TIE fighter assistants while Luke ran the trench run and sent the bolt right down into the Death Star to blow it up. Then he was the main one that handled the stuff with Lando Calrissian when Han was frozen in carbonite. He was one of the ones that went and sacrificed himself to get into Jabba's palace so that Leia could get in there later and find Han. Then, not only that, does he, in episode 7, he has to stand there and watch his bitchy nephew stab his dad, his best friend, right there. And then not only that, he is probably one of the first people to just blatantly outright get a full-on shot at a Sith and hit him right in the stomach. But then not only that, he goes and gets the Millennium Falcon in that state of mind of just watching his best friend be stabbed and thrown into an endless pit, goes and gets the Millennium Falcon and saves Finn and Rey, and then co-pilots with Lando again once Lando's brought back into the picture. I mean, I would say that he's done more than almost any other character at this point.
Well, here's the thing. You're talking about, you want to compare the impact that side characters are having. Let's talk about it. How many recognizable side characters are there in Star Wars on the same amount of popularity as Chewbacca? Because just like I mentioned Pikachu being number 1, I can name at least 5 other Pokemon that hold just as much importance.
I could name the same thing for Star Wars as well.
How many can you really name that are
side
important?
Characters? Let's see. You have
that are just important.
You have Grand Admiral Thrawn, Grand Moff Tarkin, C-3PO, R2-D2, Ahsoka Tano. Who else is a side character? You've got Jabba the Hutt. People know that one. They know Boba Fett, Jango Fett.
Pizza the Hut.
Here's the thing.
That's that's Spaceballs, but yes, Pizza the Hut. You've got what's his name? General Hux. People know who he is. Like, I mean, I could just keep going with side characters. I'm not going to name Yoda, Obi-Wan, because those are not side characters. If we want to name a side character because he's technically only in one film, even though he's very important, Qui-Gon Jinn. There you go. There's another one. Mace Windu is not a main character either.
I can name plenty of side character Pokemon.
I'm sure you could. I know there's countless Pokemon
that hold almost as much importance as Pikachu. We can start at Charizard, Squirtle, Eevee, Mew, Rayquaza, Mewtwo, Gengar, Greninja. The list goes on, William.
Yeah, it's endless on both sides.
What about the next topic, Pac-Man?
Yeah, so actually, before we get into the next topic, we have another sponsor.
Do we?
Sometimes, do you guys like to ride around the country?
No.
Do you guys like to keep rolling?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have for you, we have for you the Maximus Orion brand Harleys. When you want to show your American badassery all across the country, put in the code Maximus Orion loves Biker Taker for 50% off your order.
That's a steal.
That is a steal.
That's what you're gonna have to do because nobody's gonna spend money on that.
That's a lot of horsepower, and it's perfect because it leads into our next. It leads into our next question. So, who is the best version of the Undertaker? And Maximus, let's start with you.
Okay, so I'm going to go with the best version of The Undertaker is probably when he was in his best physique, which would be from 2005 to 2009. Because when if you pull up that shot right now, when he was standing without the straps on the top of the ramp on Monday Night Raw with Batista, holy mother of God. Like that Undertaker could probably dethrone Roman Reigns right now if you had a DeLorean time machine and went back and got him. That would be the one that would do it. The problem with the other versions of Undertaker are fine, and you know what? I'm gonna actually throw out a olive branch here. I don't hate Big Evil, okay, because I like that song the best. The You're Gonna Pay. So if he would have come out with that on Raw 30, I would have not liked it, but I would have been more okay because I like that song. I love that song actually. It's very good, especially when you're driving. Just don't drive angry with it on. The other songs are not as good, and really what I see. Big Evil was a combination of the Undertaker, the superstitious Undertaker, and him. Whereas the other bikers versions of him, when he first came out with it, and then when he was switched to the Rolling song, that was just Mark Calloway on a bike. That's all that was. Now he had some phenomenal matches, and it also allowed him to change up his style, but bringing back the Deadman character that made him who he was. But then adding on top of that, the fighting style and the dress code of the American Badass with the UFC gloves and the straps and the pants with the belt. I'm okay with that. So my favorite version of Undertaker is, 05 to 2009. After that was great too, but that was when his career started to wind down. But yeah, that is the best, most powerful version of the Undertaker is 2005 to 2009. Including the match with Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25, which is why I went to 09, because that's the greatest WrestleMania match ever.
Here's what I think about The Undertaker. I think the best version of The Undertaker is post WrestleMania 32 lost to Roman Reigns Undertaker. Because
that was 33.
That was 33?
32 was Shane McMahon, yeah.
Post 33 Undertaker. Because that Undertaker, once he came back after losing to Roman Reigns and he got the surgery and everything, that Undertaker was a different man. And, they say it's always easy to judge a man based on how he acts when he's winning. But this is why I think this is the best Undertaker. Because the Undertaker that came after that was a man to be judged after he lost, and he lost everything. And he started falling down. You could tell in the match he was winding down to the end of his career, and he looked worse than he had. Well, it was definitely worse than that before, but that was one of the most down times we had ever seen the Undertaker in. And he was able to come back after surgery, do the tag match with Roman Reigns, and then go on to wrestle AJ in the bare bones match. And he proceeded to have one of the best matches of his entire WrestleMania career. To this day,
the best cinematic match. Yeah, that was good.
Not only has had after that run during that run, did he have the best cinematic match out of anyone else that did it. That's one of the best matches of Undertaker's career, and it happened at the end of his career. It also was preceded because it was a dream match with AJ Styles, and even though everyone wanted it in a regular match, they still got it in a cinematic bare bones match, and it was better than it could have ever been. That's why that's my best version of The Undertaker, because that's the version of The Undertaker that had a redemption arc. It's also my best Undertaker because this era that we're in right now of The Undertaker is the most open he's ever been to us. This is the most relatable he's ever been to us. He's telling us stories. He's giving people advice. He's helping out the youth. And he's giving advice to the next generation of people. This is the most giving Undertaker we've ever seen. So the reasons he gave was from a career aspect, but I'm looking at a life aspect. This version of Undertaker that we have now, it was motivational. He had a chip on his shoulder. He was in his redemption arc, and now he's giving back and paving way for the future.
I actually really like that. Was a good answer, actually.
Yeah.
That was better than I thought it was going to be. That was actually really good. And you know what? On top, I'll add to that, probably one of the best Hall of Fame speeches ever, by the way.
Oh,
absolutely.
I agree. I agree.
You'll get almost emotional hearing him talk out of character, and because he had to keep up with his character for so long, and he was the Undertaker. So like one of the biggest treats for us is after he took off the jacket and hung up the gloves, we get to know the guy behind the character, and it's amazing,
Yeah, definitely.
Well, gentlemen, my question for you guys is who is the biggest star in wrestling history? JR will give you first answer.
Here is my best. My best is going to be John Cena. And that answer covers all bases from an in-ring aspect to a character aspect to an inspirational aspect, the whole 9 yards. If you look at someone John Cena, his story is one to be remembered. He started off not really knowing who he was.
Oh,
Frozen.
Hold on.
Invisible.
Simp,
Like John.
why the hell do you keep doing this? You're ruining our debate here.
JR, how we doing?
I see we have a bit of a bias, Simp.
Is
JR.
someone being biased in here?
You froze, JR.
No, you froze.
Did Maximus pay somebody off in here?
no, because that answer I wasn't really
Yeah.
mad at that answer. So no.
Yeah,
So here's
Simp,
why
Simp
John
messes with
Cena.
everything, JR Lindsey.
JR, let me get you up to speed. So right before you froze, like Han Solo in the Malorgan night, okay, you were saying something about how the John Cena, when he first came in, he didn't know who he was. You want to take it from there?
John Cena, especially for a wrestler like me, this is very relatable because John Cena was in a position where he didn't know who he was. He was on the chopping block and he was on the verge of getting fired. And for me, that's relatable because for a long time, I didn't know who I was. And I was starting to feel like maybe the wrestling thing wasn't for me. But John Cena did one thing and he made a small change and he ended up turning his entire career around, becoming the man that we know today. And now we know him as a superhero. John Cena is the Pikachu of wrestling. Everyone thinks of John Cena when they think of your ideal pro wrestler. He looks the part, he acts the part, and he plays the part. He's a hero from the championships to the matches to the promos to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, everything. John Cena is a man for the people and a man to be inspired from. John Cena is who Hulk Hogan should have been had he not tarnished his career.
Mr. Orion, what's your thoughts on this?
I know a lot of people are expecting me to stick with the answer from the last question and say The Undertaker. So in the aspect of WWE closed off, WWF, WWE closed off, or the wrestling world closed off, meaning, no Make-A-Wish, no stuff like that, then I'm going to keep that answer and say The Undertaker. But if we have to say and include all the stuff that J.R. Lindsey just mentioned, I am either going to have to go with Stone Cold or I'm going to have to agree with him and say John Cena as well because of how much John Cena has done for not only that company, but for Hollywood. I don't even know how many Make-A-Wishes we're up to at this point. I think we're almost at 700, if not over 700. I have no idea. But the amount of stuff, and people just know that name, whether they've watched wrestling or not, or they're pissing some lady off on the phone by playing his theme song, like in that prank call, like,
Super Slam.
That's what the Undertaker said to John Cena. Yeah. So if in a wrestling world closed off, I'm going to say The Undertaker. But if it's everything else, then I'm going to have to agree with him and say John Cena also. There is no debate. You can't say Hogan. You can't say The Rock because he left. You can't say Stone Cold because his career got ended. You can't even say Lesnar because not as many people know who he is as John Cena. Maybe you could say Randy Orton, but his only saving grace is the RKO and the fact that was on Vine, 10 years ago. So I'm going to have to say whole aspect Cena, just WWE, The Undertaker, but Cena would be my answer as well.
Friday, I knew there was a brain in that head of yours. I had my doubts.
When it comes to wrestling, yeah, there definitely is.
I had my doubts, but there is a brain in there. It might be as small as my pinky finger, but there's a brain in there. As
long as it's not one of the ones with those high school rings on it, then yeah.
Treated.
Don't you dare disrespect my rings. Do you understand, Maximus?
Can you close your hand even fully with that on there?
I can't. Hey, as a matter of fact, you shouldn't want me to close my fist around you. Because the last time that happened and something was on somebody's hands, you got knocked out and beat for your title.
I mean, it was
so
on.
Suggest,
it was.
So
here,
unless you want to unless you want to relive your PTSD, I'll keep my mouth shut.
I don't have PTSD from that.
My childhood hero. I'm sorry that happened to you, Maximus.
That's okay.
But Rion
is.
Yeah,
I had that match won if he had.
Rion.
I would have had that match won if he didn't clip me from behind with the watch in the back of the knee before the match even started.
Hey, guess what? Shout out to Orion putting on for the big dogs.
Going to be shout out
Yeah.
to Orion because he's going to be completely retarded in an old folks home after Fall Brawl.
I'll still visit.
And he'll shout out to Rion because he's got a good taste in breakfast. Those Dutch babies, man. My
You
heart.
and your
That's the only thing I'll give him
fucking
credit on right now is that did look pretty freaking good.
It was
That picture you sent me.
delicious.
So
That was delicious.
doesn't Simp have a question now?
He
Yes,
does.
You've been awful quiet.
Still being awful quiet.
Yeah.
He's up
Who
to
would win
something.
between the two of you in a match?
Oh.
Well, that's up to Kevin.
Are we asking
No.
rhetorical questions now?
Is that was that the question?
That's the question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
who
the
would,
question.
who would win in a
Oh.
match? between
Maximus Orion.
and J.R.
Who would
Lynn?
win between the two of you in a match?
Are we even allowed to like answer this? Because we're both gonna say ourselves.
Let me tell you something.
Let's hear
If
what
you
you
look,
got.
Let's hear it.
hold on. Let's take ego out of it and use
Okay,
facts
yeah, okay,
in real
okay.
life situations.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll take the honor of starting. If you look at someone like me, J.R. Lindsey, and you look at the things I've done so far, not calling my career a long one by any means of any stretch
Like not
of the word.
keeping straight eyebrows
But-
either.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing about my career so far. It has been a very eventful one. Within my first year of leaving my home place, my home fed, and going out into the wrestling world to see what it really was.
And your
And less
home
than
fed was
1
what?
year-
I don't remember. I need to actually know.
Hometown.
Actually, it's called Wrestle League.
It
by
is
the way.
Wrestle League. Okay.
Yes.
I'm just double checking. Okay, continue.
Keep in mind that word, home fed.
Yep.
Now, after leaving the bird's nest and traveling out to fend for myself with nobody else's help, less than 1 year after that, I was fighting for a heavyweight championship. Couple months after that, I was fighting for another championship, an IPW, when I fought Andy for the Second City Championship.
All right.
Our guy.
Couple months after that, I would go on to win my first championship when I beat Ewok for the IPW Alternative Championship.
Star Wars.
So when you look at someone like me, you look at a very eventful year and a half. If you want to call that a career, be my guest. It'll be my honors. But here's the thing. The things I've done so far is nothing to scoff at. I've gone and made myself a wanted name in other places. Okay. I wasn't born into a wrestling company and where everything was handed to me and I was handed an entire roster to play big boss man with. I'm the one traveling to these locker rooms, brand new, the new kid on the block, and earning my spot and earning my right to be there. I've not only fought in championship matches, I've went against heavyweight champions, faces of companies, and I've stood toe to toe with them and took them to their very best. Near fall after near fall. And I've also won the championship. Now, when you look at someone like Maximus, you see one championship. You see the Inter-County Championship. And you also see Rocket Pro Wrestling. But here's my question. What else do you see about Maximus Orion besides Rocket Pro Wrestling? He has yet to step out of the bird's nest and go see what it's like in the real world. I'm a survivor. I'm 10 steps ahead of him right now. I'm on level 10, and he hasn't even pressed start yet on his controller.
So here's what I'm going to say about that. There's no reason for me to leave the nest when it's my nest. So there's that. And there's always this thing
But here's the
with
thing.
You gotta give the man his.
back it up.
I'll
Put
let-
your
I'll let you
mustache
talk.
back where it's supposed to be on your nose.
It's the rules.
Don't you dare disrespect my mustache, you
Dude,
idiot.
it was over here like a tattoo you get at Disney. Shush.
I got
So-
one eye looking at you, one eye looking for you. Okay.
So
And-
anyway, this notion and JR's not the he's not. I see every time I say that, I think, by God, it's him. So sorry, he's not. I could have killed him. So or RJ, you know the one from the other wrestling show we were at.
Oh, JR at home.
RJ something.
Ross J.
Anyway, whatever. So this notion, and he's not the only one to say this, so I'm not gonna really make it an issue with him. This notion that I think I went over this on the Power Hour, actually. This notion that I was born into this with this rich ass family and all this money, and my parents just got me this, and they were like, "Here you go ahead and go play." That's not what happened. Okay, we have no money. Okay, I'm going to start off with that. RPW is still coming up. We don't have money. Our house is small. Everything is small. But most people get from their parents, most people. Now I live in, Downers, so it's there are some rich, spoiled ass kids over here, right? We all know that. I am not one of them. So normally when they're in high school, their parents buy them a car, right? We can agree that these spoiled ass teenagers, their parents buy them a car, and if it's not the right color, they bitch and crash it, right? So that's what happens. I didn't get a car. I had to pay for my own car. And my dad goes, well, you know what? My dad bought me a Trans Am for my graduation, my high school graduation, when I was your age. I had just graduated from South. He goes, do you want a better car? I said, no. I said, I want a wrestling ring from Monster Rings and Cages. Now, this was supposed to be like a 16 by 16 or 18 by 18. It was upwards of $4,500 with everything plus shipping costs. That was a bit of a stretch. And because of how good the economy was when we bought this, we made that money back almost instantly. So that was just sheer luck. Okay. But I got a call from, the company that said, hey, look, you bought the 18 by 18. It's not ready to ship yet, but we had this company that ordered a 20 by 20. They never responded to us, and it's been a month. Do you want a free upgrade? Yeah, of course I do. So we got the free upgrade. We brought the ring here, and we spent 2 years fighting to keep that thing dry. It was every time it would rain. And here's my anti-ad right here. Flex Seal doesn't do nothing to a tarp. Okay, I don't care if you put a boat with a door on it. He puts that on, it don't work. Okay, so
that's my cousin Phil Swift. He's trying his damn. Okay,
so we're trying to keep that thing dry. And the other wrestling company that happened to be at St. Joe's Park during those 2 years, they left. Okay, so we were like, well, we're parishioners there already. My dad's like, I can't keep this thing in my garage anymore. Let me go ask Father and see if we can store it over there. And then he said yes, but he goes, what are you going to do with it? And my dad goes, well, let's just start a company. And we started the company. It took about 6 months, and working with Kevin or Nuke to come up with everything. He's the one that got the wrestlers. I had to go to training. I first went to Orion, but then I did go to polish my training. I went to Wrestle League to train with you were there with Shogun and all that
You
stuff.
were with us for a brief stint.
Yeah, it was, because you know what, Russell, that's not even close to me. That's an hour and a half of driving. And with gas the way it is now, I'm not finished with my story yet. Give me a second. So not only did I already kind of have an idea of what I was doing, but now getting it polished with that. Yes, I don't go after championships. I don't need to go after championships in my own company. The reason I even won the Intercounty Championship was so that I could get revenge on Flash Harris and take him down begin the downfall of the. Yes, your dad, unfortunately, I know.
My dad.
But he wasn't your dad yet.
By the way.
Don't talk shit about my dad.
He's a terrible father. I'm very disappointed.
He's a great dad.
All
right, so I not only that, but winning the Intercounty Championship was not about winning the Intercounty Championship. It was about beating Flash, getting revenge on the man that literally broke my eye socket, and beginning the downfall of the Idols, which my mother and Steve Arendt ended up finishing off.
Wait. There it is.
There it is. Steve and Shelley. There it is.
That shit on me always.
That's so. Do I have as many matches as him under my belt? Hell no. I compete once a month at Rocket Pro. But here's the thing, that even like as amazing as half of these guys are now, could I fight Shogun? No. I tried that. He did a super kick. I didn't turn the right way. I chewed off part of my lip, right? So that is a given. Marche, not happening. Not beating him. But Russell, I've seen you in the ring. We were at that Wrestle League when you speared, who was it, Shaq or somebody off of the ladder?
Spirit Jesus, they stopped.
Was it Jesus? Okay, so it wasn't Shaq. It was that's right. It was Jesus. But you did do that. What was the flip over the top?
I got a sunset flip power.
Yeah, the sunset flip. Freaking amazing. We all thought you were dead. So good thing you got back up. But because we all did, because even Shogun was like, I don't know if he's alive. So it was that was amazing. But here's the thing. You're gonna go to do something, and I am simply gonna get out of the way or hit you with a boot or something that you don't know it's coming. Okay, that's the thing with the whole, do you want to fight Gunnar Brave? No, I don't. He's way too fast. And here's how that match would go, because I would just catch his little ass. And this isn't a challenge either, because I'm not fighting Gunnar. I would just catch him
Gunner's house
and throw him down. I am not going along with the high flying stuff or any of that stuff. So if you think you're going to use your fast football techniques with me, you're going to go to hit that spear. I'm going to turn around and I'm either going to goozle you around the neck and choke slam you with your own momentum like I did to Flash, or you're just going to eat a boot right in the mouth. And am I going to get destroyed? Probably for 90% of that match, but I'm going to catch you with that one move. As much as I hate Logan Paul, he's right about the one move, the one lucky move that is going to catch you. And I'm not going to go down easily either. Rion put me through he knocked out my knee. He hit me with Timmy Too Sweet's shoe multiple times in the chest. He put me through a door. And the only thing that would keep me down for that full 10 count was hitting me square dead in the head with a Rolex. So unless you're going to use your high school rings to knock my ass out, you're going to get hit with that one boot, that one choke slam with your momentum, or a sling blade or something, and that is going to be the end. It's going to be just like Kevin James in Here Comes the Boom when he knocks out that Irish guy and then he barfs on him, which I would never do that to you. But it's going to be that one move. I'm going to be getting my ass kicked the entire time, and there's going to be that one move that puts you down for the 1, 2, 3. It doesn't matter how many championships you've had. It's the one move that I am good at hitting and that I will hit and you will not see coming.
Here's the thing I want you to understand, Maximus. And it's funny you work at a school because I'm about to take you to school.
This is one of those lunchroom, so but okay.
This is one of those moments I've been in before where you think you're ready for something and someone has to be there to tell you you're not ready. The one thing me and you have in common is that we're both survivors by nature. Our surroundings have made us survivors. But here's where we differ. And I'll take the rings off. Let's get real for a second.
Take the mustache off, then. It wants to pop off your face so bad anyway.
Here's why you're not ready for me. Here's why Maximus Orion does not beat J.R. Lindsey. When you are asked the question, can you beat Gunnar Brave? Can you beat Gunnar Brave? Your answer is no. There's no challenge that gets brought to me where my answer is ever no, no matter how hard it is. Whether I'm stepping into the ring against Invictus, less than a year in, whether I'm going in the ring against Marche Rocket or Shogun Chris Logan or Quinn Whittick, all of these titans in wrestling, stars on the local wrestling scene. My answer every single time is yes. Because the one thing people know about J.R. Lindsey is that he's always up for the challenge. The story of me, of my life, is going to be I bite off more than I can chew. Not that I turn around and tuck my tail when I'm scared of the challenge. I'm always up for the challenge. I know the struggle. And that's what you don't know. You haven't had that experience yet. Because no matter what you say, you're in the bird's nest right now. There exists.
But it's my nest.
That's the thing.
No, it's mine.
Nest, no bird's
it's
nest.
Mine.
No bird's nest exists for me anymore. There is no.
You never had your own to begin with.
That's what makes.
I do. Great. I have my own nest.
That's what helps
to
me
one day be on the top of. I'm not afraid of Gunnar Brave. Okay.
That's the thing.
I just logically know that I am going to lose. You going in and not comprehending the fact that you're going to get beat by Shogun or by Marche or by Gunnar Brave, because that some bitch does not stay down no matter what you do to him. You could cut his head off and his body will run around like a chicken. You would lose. I'm just smart enough to know that I'm going to lose to these people. And only by sheer luck would I ever beat Gunnar Brave in a match, or by sheer luck would I ever beat Shogun Chris Logan in a match, or Marche Rocket. He's 6'5". I'm not getting chopped by him. I'm ducking out of the way because I'm smart and I like to live.
This is my question for you. How do you honestly think you can beat somebody that thinks they can do anything, and you're a person that thinks, oh, I can do certain things in life? Do you think when John Cena,
because I know I can beat you.
Hold on, this is the thing. When John Cena went and told his family he wanted to be a WWE wrestler, and do you think if they would have told him, we don't think you can do it, you should change your mind because you're going to face this person one day, you're going to go against Randy Orton, you're going to go against Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam?
None of those guys were in there yet.
If they were and they told him that, do you think that would have changed his mind, or do you think he still would have been the John Cena that we know today?
No, he still would have been the same John Cena. But I didn't say.
That's my point. Hold on,
I
let
didn't
me
say that
allow
I'm
me to
afraid to
allow me
take a
to
leap.
finish.
My parents
Allow
have
me to
said that the
finish my
streaming thing
argument, sir.
is not going to work out, and I'm doing it anyway.
Allow me to finish my argument, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to take you to
Hey,
school.
you have too many pauses. I don't know when you're done.
This is what you need to understand. You don't know the struggle. You're in the bird's nest. The fact that my company is a thing for you, it helps me, but it hurts you, and that's what you don't realize. You're in your comfort zone. The notion of, oh, I don't have to leave my company, that's exactly what puts me at an advantage.
In a
I
match.
know what it's like. Yes.
How?
That's because I know what it's like.
Because if we fight, you're in my element. You're at Rocket Pro if we fight.
Here's why you're still a fish out of water. Because you don't know what it's like going against people like me. You've had it easy.
You think Flash Harris was easy?
Compared to me, yes.
Oh,
damn.
I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying I didn't grow into the wrestling world with the gold spoon in my mouth.
Where gold?
I've
what,
traveled,
dude. I'd be lucky if it was a wooden spoon hitting me in the ass.
Maximus, I'm the one traveling to these different places, learning from these different legends, and taking that advice with me into my next match. So me being the guy that is wrestling the people I've wrestled, doing the things I've done, like taking cutters off of ladders and getting the sunset flip. People think I'm dying, and me getting right back up and spearing people off of ladders and facing these champions with a resume like that. What makes you think you could beat me?
One,
I have more experience.
Lucky
look,
move.
Here's the thing. If you look at the stats, let's talk about stats. I have more power than you. I have more experience than you. I have more smarts than you.
Okay, whoa. Yeah. In what? In what?
In ring IQ.
Okay, thank you.
In ring IQ.
Okay, fine.
Yes.
But thank you. You have to tell me that because it can't be on everything. Okay, continue.
I know more wrestling moves than you know songs by John Bon Jovi. That seems like somebody you listen to.
No, it's not. That's my parents' thing.
Tommy, he used to walk on the docks.
The Union.
Your experience.
You should go walk off a short dock, actually.
He's down on his luck. It's tough.
And who's taking care of Tommy nowadays?
Maximus, your experience just doesn't match up.
Okay, but here's the thing, Russell.
Hold on.
I don't have the we got like 17 arguments going on here.
It just does not match up.
Here's the problem. You don't have a company to run while being in matches. I do. So you don't have the stress. You don't have the stress.
That hurts you. That you don't realize that pads your career. That pads your resume, but it hurts your career.
You're still talking.
The fact that you're in both fields of it, it pads your career and it makes it look good on paper, but it hurts you because that means you can't focus 100% on what needs to be done in that ring. That's my only focus right now. I'm dead set on becoming a legend, becoming a mainstay in Rocket Pro Wrestling and any other company, and becoming the top guy.
Yeah, but you keep bringing up this golden spoon in my mouth when I have to do all the work around there.
You, on the other hand, have to worry about wrestling, balancing these other things behind the scenes and doing this and that.
And the fact that I can do both of those things pretty damn well.
Well, I mean, if you were doing it pretty well, you'd still have your title, but that's another conversation to be had.
Excuse me, he clipped me from the knee.
And see, that's the thing. That's in-ring IQ that you don't have.
You wouldn't have had that IQ. Rion's been in the business for 25 years.
Someone like me knowing the
You've been in the ring. You've been in the business for what, 3?
5.
Okay. Is that 25? Rion knew what he had to do to keep me down because he knew he wasn't going to. So he had to injure my leg so I couldn't hit a choke slam at the end of the match.
Here's the thing. Me being in a last man standing match, I'm knowing that my opponent is going to do anything that it takes to keep me down. So I'm going to prepare for it. You prepared for it like it was a regular match and got beat in a last man standing match, which all comes down to in-ring IQ that you don't have.
Actually, if you listen to Christian Rose, I have very good in-ring IQ because during that whole match, out of the two of us, I was the only one using the ropes to my advantage to pull myself back up at the count of 4. I pulled myself back up at a count of 8 after being put through a table.
Let me tell you
the only thing I didn't see coming was him pulling the watch back out of Ref Dev's pocket and punching me in the face.
Let me tell you something, Maximus. Here's what happens when me and you wrestle, okay? The match starts.
I hit a sling blade, it's over.
No. I speak things to existence, okay? We come face to face. I shove you down and you go to your back. You get back up. I pick you up. I throw you across the ring. The LIM might see you. I make sure I throw you on that side of the ring. You get back up because that's what you like to do because you're a survivor. And then you get kicked in the face with all 265 pounds of force in my leg. You get back up because you're a survivor. Then your head goes in between my arms and you get DDT'd and your head gets drilled into the mat and you get back up because you're a survivor.
Yep.
But then I go to that corner. I do my dance. The people in the crowd do it with me just like they are right now.
Yeah, once I hear the booing, I'm going to know what's coming.
And I run at you.
Is this when I hit you with the big boot in the face?
With the force of a bull and the grace of a gazelle. And I jump in the air and I leap and I put my shoulder all into your ribs, possibly breaking them, and I spear you on the ground. And you know what's different about any other time in the match? This time, 1, 2, 3. Maximus does not get up.
I'm going to ask you one thing right here because you keep bringing up the experience. At the end of the Karate Kid, the original, who won? The person with something to fight for or the person with the most experience?
I'm going to answer
what
that
I
question.
thought.
Now, here's what I'm glad you asked that. Because you're not the person with something to fight for. I am.
I am. That's my home. That is my nest, as you will. I have something to prove there that is my company. You got nothing.
Exactly why.
You have nothing on the line.
Listen, that's exactly why you have no reason to fight for anything because it's your company.
Yes, but I also don't need to be seen as a wuss in my own company and be booed when I walk out.
I come in your company as a visitor, a person looking to earn a spot and prove a point. That's what gives me something to fight for. I'm on both sides of the field here. I have something to fight for and I have the most experience. And that's what makes me more dangerous than you. That's what means, that's why J.R. Lindsey beats Maximus Orion.
Do you think for 1 second that any of like what level of a championship I'm competing for or at what level of the card I'm at, just because I own the business does not mean I'm going to propel myself and put myself in the main event? I know my place, but that also doesn't mean that I'm not going to hit, like I said before, the one lucky move. It's going to be my Logan Paul knockout punch. It's going to be my Daniel-san crane kick. It's going to be something that you're not going to see coming, and that's going to be it. It's going to be you did all this work for nothing because you're going to make that one mistake and screw up absolutely everything for yourself, and you're going to be laying on your back. That bell's going to ring, and you're going to hear that charmed music kick in, and Timmy Too Sweet is going to be saying my name as I leave and high five my fans, my students that are at ringside. That's what's going to happen. I'll even stand at the top of the ramp. I'll look back and I will throw my fist up just for you before I walk through that curtain. And then Bruno Jakubowski, our ring attendant, and our bell ringer, Mike Cunt, they're going to come get you, and they're going to have to drag your sorry carcass to the back, and then you can sit down next to Rion and wonder, maybe I shouldn't have poked the bear.
See, that's the thing you need to realize about me. I love poking the bear. I like biting off more than I can chew, because even if I can't handle it, it teaches me a lesson, and it makes me stronger. I'm not scared to bite off more than I can chew. You are. You're talking about one lucky shot. Every move in my arsenal is a lucky shot. Because I'm bigger, I'm stronger.
That's not a good thing to have then if every move has to be a lucky shot and you don't know you're going to hit it.
See, that's what makes me unpredictable. You're telling me there's one move I need to look out for. I'm telling you every move in my moveset is something you should look out for. Whether it's me shoulder tackling you in the next week, whether it's me drilling your head into the ground with a DDT, or whether it's me taking it home, hitting a home run and spearing you into the ground. You don't know what can put you down.
And what happens when I kick out of that?
I keep it coming. Lucky shot after lucky shot.
I'm gonna see. You're saying lucky shot after lucky shot. This can't go into your head. The one move I am going to hit you with your own momentum, and you're done. Because not only is it my force, it's your momentum at the same time. So whether that's a sling blade when you run for that spear, whether that's a big boot and you eat it when you're going for that spear, or whether I goozle you and swing you with that choke slam and plant you on your ass, that's all that's needed.
So
that
I
is
guess,
it. One, two,
here,
3.
So I'm guessing here the question should be asked, what's going to be stronger at the end of the match? My force or your momentum? Because what if you try to use my momentum against me, but my force overpowers you? What if I go for the spear and you try to catch me in a choke slam, or you try to kick me and I power through it and still ram you to the ground? Are you thinking about that, Maximus?
I'm always thinking about stuff like that.
I want you to keep thinking, because one day this will happen and you will be staring at the lights.
When Ref Dev is holding up my hand, you're right.
No, you're going to be staring at the lights when you get speared. People are going to think you have an obsession with LED lights once I'm done with you. You're going to be looking at the lights. You're going to be gazing at the stars. You're going to be my bitch.
Wow.
Speaking
he's got to throw that in there, huh? That's always what they got to do.
Of obsessions about LED lights, I want to talk about how obsessed.
I thought you had another sponsor.
No. I just want to talk
Philips Electric.
briefly about how obsessed we, the fans, the LIM, the Rocket Girls, the White Girl Wasted, okay, how obsessed we are about each and every one of you that put your life on the line. You put your bodies on the line every time you get in that ring. We love you guys. We love RPW. We love every single thing you do for us, the fans. At the end of the day, that's what the LIM is. We are your biggest fans. Win, lose, or draw, we love you both. So, speaking of the fans, we got some fan questions, Pac-Man, right?
We sure do. We had a couple people submit some questions, and the first question comes from one Naomi. She comes from DuPage. Never heard of it. Never heard of it.
The small community of DuPage.
A small community of DuPage, if you will. But Naomi asks, which is better, Barbie or Jar Jar Jarby?
Oh boy,
Barbie. Barbie is a global brand.
Well, you know what Jar Jar Jarby is, right?
Barbie is more better.
No, but do you know what it is? Is what I'm
How
asking
about for the fans that are watching?
I don't.
It's somebody put Jar Jar Binks on the cover of Barbie instead. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Look that up real quick. You might change your mind in a second, actually.
Yeah, you're gonna probably change your mind. It's a very important question. It's one of the top political issues of the day.
What about this question? This is a pressing one because it's where I'm at right now. Old style or more old style?
And that came from Bruno Jakubowski.
Wait, are we reading all these and then answering?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. So we're answering later.
Oh yeah, you're answering now, I guess.
Oh, I didn't. I'm going with Jar Jar because it's hilarious.
I'm going with Barbie.
Okay.
All right.
And when it comes down to old style or more old style, where do we stand?
Got to have more old style.
Hell yeah!
I'm gonna say old style, because what's old is new.
So true.
I'm so confused.
That was creative.
That was he's just saying what we're all thinking. And Simp has the final question of our potpourri round.
Or reboots.
Remakes or reboots?
Or remakes.
Yeah, reboots or remakes. Gentlemen.
And that came from Joey Blues of No Coast.
So, all right, let me just for so I understand this. When we say reboots, we're talking about restarting or starting back from where we left off, correct?
Right.
Because that term has gotten mixed between reboots and, okay. Lindsey, you can go first on this one if you want to.
So I'm gonna say reboots are better, only because with the reboot you're starting from scratch. You get the advantage of painting an entire new picture and creating a new story. I feel like when you do remakes, you have a chip on your shoulder to live up to the expectations that the original had. And I feel like for better or worse, even in movies and TV shows, when people do remakes, they end up being criticized sometimes, and other times they deliver. But at least I feel like if you give it the title of reboot, it erases all expectations, and you're allowed to start new.
I'm gonna have to agree with that completely, because we've seen the failure of multiple remakes. I'm gonna start with one that's not so obvious. I don't know if even if any of you guys would know that it was remade at all. They tried to remake Charmed about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was the most garbage crap I have ever watched in my life. Like, when you have, because what they did was they sent out a tweet and said, this is new and this is feministic and girl power and blah, blah, blah. And then the original Charmed ones were like, what is so feminist and all that about telling the women that did this job 12 years ago that they can't do it anymore? And they just like completely just did away with half of the stuff. They kept some of the aspects, but then they got rid of the other stuff and they politicized the crap out of it and made it political real world issues. And that's not what the Charmed ones are supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be vanquishing demons and saving the day, right? So they screwed that up. And I don't even think I need to. Do I even need to bring up what Disney does with remakes of everything? Like, they got to take every good Pixar movie or whatever that they made, and they go and they make a live action version that sucks. I mean, you've got The Lion King, the live action, that sucked. The Little Mermaid, I watched that sucked. I mean, it was okay, but you're never going to live up to the original Little Mermaid. You're not. As much as I didn't really watch that stuff, you're not. Aladdin, not going to work. So anytime anybody has done a remake, it has just flopped almost 100% of the time. Whereas reboots, if they rebooted Charmed, they'd be fine. They could get 2-3 seasons out of that as a reunion type thing. If you rebooted, well, I could actually say, you could almost say that they did reboot Ghostbusters in a way with Afterlife, because there's another one. They remade it with the Melissa McCarthy one with all the chicks. If I mention that to Shogun, I will get super kicked, right? So you can't even bring that one up to him. You could be like, well, the female one, boom, you're done. It's gone. You're seeing stars. It's over. But they rebooted it and brought the next generation in of Egon Spengler's grandkids. Then they saved the franchise. So reboots have the ability, if done properly and paying the respects that they need to the original movies, reboots are 100% better than anything being remade. But here's my thing. Unless it's a continuation of a story like Ghostbusters is, make something new already. That's really my thing. Make something new as good as Star Wars was. I'll even give him an olive branch here. As good as Pokemon was. As good as Ghostbusters was. As good as Harry Potter was. They're trying to remake that now too, and they're trying to redo it on a TV show and just do it by the books. It's like, I'm never going to be able to see anybody else as Harry Potter or Professor Snape or Professor McGonagall. I won't be able to see it. The remakes just ruin it, and it's just make something new, because there hasn't been a movie like any of the things I mentioned, Pokemon included, ever. I mean, they tried they tried to compete with Pokemon with Yu-Gi-Oh, I believe, and that thing fell right on. That went over like a lead balloon.
Yeah.
Compared to Pokemon, they tried. It doesn't work.
Thank you.
They need to. They either need to make something new or pay respects to the originals when they do reboots. That's the only things that'll save you right now. So there's my thing. So Russell and I are on the same page on this one.
I think we're all on the same page. And well, the other page, I want to turn the page and ask you the real final question.
Wait, is it? I thought we were doing the closing argument next.
It's so hot here thinking about this real final question. Let me ask you something.
You still have that hot double J?
Is that a cat litter scooper?
I always got my hot double J summer fan on me, okay?
It's a boy fan.
Summer Ray. But anyways, listen, does hot double J of the LIM deserve an induction?
What?
LIM?
Whoa, wait, you're making this debate too political with this. Hold on. Time out. We didn't talk about this. I thought we weren't going to bring him up after the disaster that was yesterday or last week. And then Travis T is the one.
I was just political. How was this political?
This has gotten way too politicized.
Maximus, let me get your thoughts on that. Does Double J deserve a induction?
No.
So I was actually unaware that Double J was not an official member of the LIM.
He didn't need one.
And why did he not need one?
Because I explained, like I explained on
Lindsey,
JFW.
Mr.
I
Lindsey.
saw his. Hold on. Because I explained on JFW. He didn't need one because I saw exactly how dedicated he was to Chet Gunderson, and he's from the neighborhood. So I expedited the process for him, and I did him a favor for not having to go through all the loopholes and loops that come with a LIM induction.
So why is it necessary now?
Yeah, why is it necessary now, Gabagool? Why are we bringing this up? Why is it necessary to bring this up?
Because Double J is an old friend from the neighborhood, and he deserves a rightful induction. Mr. Lindsey, what do you think about this?
Wait, hold on. Gabagool, did you get an induction into LIM?
I'm the founding father. There's no LIM without me. I don't need an induction.
So if you didn't need to get inducted into LIM, why does Double J?
Wow, that's a red herring. Mr. Lindsey, your thoughts?
Fine. I'll humor this.
Has
They're
he?
both from the
Here's my
neighborhood.
question. I'm going to answer your question with the question. Has he ever been seen doing the Russell Shuffle?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Documented.
Does he? Would you say he's a supporter of the Russell Shuffle?
Absolutely. He made a sign for you, for crying out loud.
He did.
Yes, at IPW back in March.
Well, then stamp it, ship it, and deliver it. He has my vote. Make him an official member of the LIM.
So here's what I'm going to say. And this is coming from the fact, I mean, I got to stream in a little bit, so I'm going to make my answer very, very quick because I know I have to do closing arguments as well. Here's my thing. Being in, and I don't want to go too in depth with it, being in the Knights of Columbus myself and having to be sworn in to not only the first degree, but the second, third, and fourth. You are not truly considered a member of that until you take that. Now, with that being said, whether you're the founding father or not, Gabagool, you also have to officially be inducted into it. Otherwise, you are not officially a member on the books. You don't have the credentials that the other members of LIM do by taking the oath. Just because you write it does not mean you took it.
Pac-Man.
That is what I'm. So does Double J deserve to be in? Does I don't know if PX was.
I started it. I'm the leader.
Unfortunately, for both of you, that doesn't matter. So does Double J deserve to be fully? If he wants to be, now this is on him. If he wants to be, I don't see why there's a problem. He should be able to take the proper ceremony into being inducted into LIM. But you two technically never vowed anything. So until you do, you are the founders of LIM, but you didn't take the oath like everybody else did.
You got me questioning my whole existence right now, okay,
You even took the sunglasses off.
I'm about to take the hat off, all right?
Oh, he's bald under there. All right, so I'm done talking about this. Let's get to closing arguments. Closing arguments.
Maximus can go first.
I went first on the opening.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go first on the final round.
Okay, well, this is what I'll say. I think I came today more prepared than anyone expected me to be. I think I've laid a lot of facts down. I think I've made a lot of great claims and arguments. From top to bottom, I feel like I presented a very strong argument on every topic, and I would like to leave Maximus with this. No matter who gets declared the winner today, the match has yet to happen. So I want you to take notes on what you learned about me today, and I want you to make like a child at school and do your homework on me. I want you to study me, and I want you to prepare, because one day, that spear will come across you in the wrestling ring. One day, you will be standing across from J.R. Lindsey in the wrestling ring. One day, you will be standing, and then you will fall to the ground, and you will be staring at the lights for J.R. Lindsey. And when you do, it will be a humbling and a teaching moment. And that's what this is all about. It's about teaching you. You need to learn the lesson that you're not ready.
Mr. Orion, your closing.
So my closing. Okay. I'm going to cover everything because he went right for the throat and just went right for the me versus him in a match. So we're going to start with I've never said before that Pokemon was irrelevant. I never said it didn't do great things for its community, and I never said it didn't gross more than Star Wars because I know how to use Google. But Star Wars as a whole brings families as a whole unit together way better than Pokemon does. Pokemon is a great thing to play with your friends if you understand it, or if you're just a 5-year-old that likes it because it's a shiny gold card. Star Wars bridges generation gaps. It has its own theme park. Everybody knows what it is. That doesn't take anything away from Pokemon, but when you say at the end of the day, what is more popular, especially where we live, unfortunately, Star Wars is going to take that I should say, unfortunately for you, Star Wars is going to take that every single time. Regarding all the other things, I hope that one day we have a match because you know what? Something I didn't mention, my finisher, when I actually use it, it's almost like my spare finisher. It's a spear too.
Really? No, don't you dare. Don't you dare tell me
It already is. I beat Flash for the Intercounty Championship with a spear. I hit let's see. So Flash, now you're making me think. So this is out of my closing argument. Because I have to think. I hit Flash with the spear. I hit Kevin Cade with the spear. I defeated multiple members of the Idols with a spear. I defeated the Kings of the Six while teaming with Rion with a spear. And the only thing that would keep Rion down during our brawl in March was a spear. So there you go. Now, I actually in the future look forward to a match because I believe whether I win or you win, that crowd is going to be going nuts the entire time.
Yeah.
Because they would be. With that build up, they would be going crazy the entire time, and we would probably overshadow whatever matches came after us.
Absolutely.
That is absolute right there. So I will leave actually on a positive note. I look forward to it. You are a phenomenal performer. And some of the things today we actually agreed on, and I was surprised that we did. But I'll leave with this. Bring your best. Bring your Russell Shuffle. Bring your high school rings if you need them. If it's a no DQ match, have a fantastic time with those plastic things. Bring your fake mustache and eyebrows and tiny little goatee looking like a Dollar Tree Captain Jack Sparrow. And we'll see what happens. Because unlike you, I don't make false predictions.
Yeah, that's our job.
I play it as I see it.
We do that.
Right. That's how I am's job.
Yeah.
If I'm going in knowing that it's a downhill battle for me or an uphill battle for me, I'm still going to try my best, but at the end of the day, I'm going to say nothing about actually beating you, but I will hurt you and I will hurt you bad. There you go.
I think that's a great great closing statement, at least for you. I will add this.
Oh,
I'm man enough to admit I respect you as a person and as a wrestler. I think the story that you and your family have created with Rocket Pro Wrestling is a story to be looked at and studied on years from now, and I think it's a very inspirational story. With that being said, however, when it comes to me and you being across in the ring, nothing I've said today is a prediction. It's a spoiler.
Okay, Paul.
Yeah, that's my uncle.
Okay.
I don't say things as hard as it might be to believe. I don't say things just to hear myself talk. I speak things into existence. When I told people I was going to start a clothing line, I did that, and here we are today.
Yes, you did.
When I told people,
that was very good.
Thank you. When I told people I was going to be a pro wrestler back in high school, and I was looking stupid carrying around a replica belt and wearing John Cena merch on my out of uniform days, here we are today. I'm a wrestler. when I told them I was going to step out of my comfort zone and give music a try. I did that. And here
Yes,
we
you
are
did.
today. When I told people I was going to make my own signature dance, that one day people would be doing right along with me. I did that. And here we are today. So when I tell you I'm going to be standing across a wrestling ring from you, and I'm going to spear you in the next week and pin you, I mean every word of it. And I'm going to tell you after the match, when you get up and I shake your hand, because by that time we've been to earn each other's respect all the way. And I'll tell you, I told you so. And here we are today.
All right, so we have the results now. So I scored the debate 23.5 to 20, Maximus Orion. Tony Gabagool scored the debate 22.5 to 22, JR Lindsey. Simp is going to be the tiebreaker. Now remember,
I thought you were going to say didn't do it.
we were close for a second. But remember, the winner of this debate, if Maximus Orion wins the debate, JR Lindsey cannot do the Russell Shuffle for 30 days. And if JR Lindsey wins, Maximus Orion will have to go on the next RPW Twitch stream on his Sling Blade channel and say that JR Lindsey is better and Pokemon is better than Star Wars. Now, with that being said, we do have a winner of this debate. And in a score of 20 to 18, 22 to 20, the winner of this debate, according to these three judges, is Maximus Orion.
What? Are you serious?
I am dead serious, and don't call
What?
me Shirley.
Actually, PX, I'm going to step in here. Because we actually got to do this, and it was very enjoyable. And because of the kind of person that I am,
60 days.
No. No, it's not 60 days. What I am going to do is take back what I said that he has to not do, I guess, for 30 days. So, Russell, as the winner, I'm allowed to do what I need to do here. You are allowed to continue to do the Russell Shuffle, but you are going the next one of the next few, whenever it may be, after RPW, if you're at the show or not, you are going to be required to do the Russell Shuffle with a Maximus Orion t-shirt on and post that on your social media.
Yes. Also, sidebar, hashtag Saint just shuffle. Oh, speaking of Saint, I do have a major announcement. So, IPW just announced that Damian Saint is going to be the guest host at the next show on August 27th is the date for it. August 27th.
Trash.
Which will be at 1:30 at Richton Park at the VFW.
Trash.
Now, my major announcement is this. Next week, we will be speaking with Damian Saint on we could call it a season finale of the lovely Intoxicated podcast. It'll be the last show we do before the Rocket Pro season kicks off. And Damian Saint will be speaking with us about that show. What else we have in store? Hard to say.
I don't know. I am having feelings about this.
I think
I have
the
a
Rocket
question.
Pro show, I think Bill Shelley might go to it.
He might. That's what I heard.
Yeah, that's a
He
rumor.
said that
and
about
innuendo.
vacation, but he said he was going to go to the whole thing, but he only went to half. It was weird.
Well, he might have gone to it.
I would like to question the scoring, the scoring of this debate.
Yes.
You were the one that scored against me.
I did, and it was very close.
And
Simp
why?
did as well, didn't he?
Simp did too.
Here's my question. Why? Because I feel like I brought more facts to the table on my topics than he did.
So
Here's
here's how we did our scoring.
a lot of
So
no.
it was the strength of opening and closing statement, the content of the argument, use of logic, level of focus, and humor. I gave you both 5 for humor.
This is where I differ from Pac-Man, like many other times. No disrespect, Maximus, but JR, he got a 5. You know why?
On which thing? You have to.
That mustache of his.
Yes.
Damn funny, if you ask me.
That it was. I'll agree with you on that. I would have given him 5 for that too, because that was throwing me off half the time.
So
the computer's throwing it off too.
To answer your question, I think for me it was the question regarding the best companion, because you were going more towards facts, and I think Maximus did a better job on that one, talking about all the things that Chewbacca did. Like, you were focused more on like the statistics and such. So I think that's where like the logic kind of for that question.
What? I gave facts on Pikachu. I told you.
But here's the thing. You gave statistic facts and how it helped the franchise. They were asking who would make the actual better companion, whereas if you think Pikachu actually did, you didn't argue how it made him a better companion, or if you were in the Pokemon actual world, how it would. I gave in Star Wars universe examples of what Chewbacca did and overcame, whereas you stuck to the statistics of the real world.
I'm disappointed in you, PX.
But I will say
Always.
I think you did win with the promo battle, the who would win.
Oh, he's better at promos than me. I'll give him that much. Jesus H. Christ.
Jared Lindsey's a great promo.
I don't cut promos. I just go in there and beat somebody's ass. I don't cut promos. I'm bad at it.
But even with losing, I will be a respectful competitor and give Maximus his props. Congratulations for winning, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
As much as it pains,
I even took the bad punishment from you.
Which I appreciate, which is why.
Because I know it means a lot to you, and the fans love it, and LIM loves it. And even if you're not at Rocket Pro the next show as a wrestler, if you're still there, you're still going to be doing the Russell Shuffle. And I believe Steve Aaron actually hit it in the match with
main event
that my mom was in. So
he did. I was very proud of him for that.
Yeah,
I watched you across the arena. You got you popped so hard.
You did, because I actually had the camera in the back on the back wall that I was watching, and he jumping around like a 5-year-old kid.
Oh, he was
Steve
so
doing
excited.
He was
awesome.
so
excited. It was great.
But I don't want to hinder the thing that the things that your fans love. So out of respect for that, now you only have to do it one time with a Maximus Orion t-shirt on.
Yeah, I will begrudgingly do that.
So before we go, there is one thing an
autograph t-shirt.
Oh, there you go.
You drive a hard bargain, Maximus.
So, Simp, I'm going to ask you a favor, even though you creep me out and are incredibly weird. Would you mind hitting us with a Russell Shuffle for the road?
No.
It took him a
See,
said, I think it's time.
I'm starting not to like this guy.
Yeah, I don't. He was the deciding vote. He's the one that screwed you.
Who is he anyway? Who's under that mask?
Well,
The Undertaker.
This is what I think of that guy.
The Undertaker?
No, the guy that voted against me.
The Simp.
The Simp. The sober, intelligent-minded person.
You know what, Russell? Because I enjoyed this debate so much.
But I think
you know what,
Maximus did better in the last two.
And I'll give Simp props for his representing wrestlers that were in Wrestling with Demons on Charmed. I'll even leave you with this. It's very quick, and I'm never freaking doing it again. But you need to watch your screen right now because
Amen, baby. Amen.
I'll do it for you
On video.
Okay, I'm never doing that ever again. Yes, it's on the LAM podcast. I'm never doing it
It's
again.
on video.
But there you go. I was caught. I would say caught in 4K, but this is 720 at best. So
PX, I need you to send me that clip when you get a chance.
Oh, I'm gonna, zoom in, do everything I need to do with it, and yeah, everybody will get that.
That's the beauty of it.
That'll be great. That'll be great.
The shuffle brings everybody together.
Hell yeah. I mean, Simp, last call. You could still do it.
Well, JR, and Maximus, we appreciate you coming on and debating. You're both gentlemen and
And
scholars,
masters of debating.
masters of the universe in debating. We appreciate you, fellas. And Pac-Man, time to close
sir.
this episode.
It's time
like
to
to
close
say-
the tab on this episode.
I'd just like to say thank you again for having me. Congrats to Maximus. Mark my words. Remember this. Clip this part too. One day, J.R. Lindsey and Maximus Orion will have a match, and the crowd will go crazy.
Can you imagine if it was a tag team, though?
You guys ready?
Ready for
Not
what?
ruling it out.
Ready for what, Simp?
The closing statement, the closing line.
What about it?
A clothesline? I've had enough of those. Thank you.
Simp,
What do we say to close the show?
Wait,
Yeah.
we already closed the tab on the episode.
Simp, it's time to close the tab on this
You're
episode.
missing something.
You're missing something, Gabagool. Isn't there
Oh,
a match you want to talk about?
know what? Yeah. Last week I was trying to get to disc 3 of this Bret Hart. It's the downfall of Bret Hart's career with the WWF. It's on disc 3. If you don't mind, I'd like to take a few moments to talk about this incredible match that happened back in 1997. We got time for that, Pac-Man?
A second.
No.
Okay, let me pull out the. All right, so 1997 at Survivor Series.
Okay, you know what? Nope. We're all good. We can't talk about it yet. Everybody, thank you for listening to the lovely Intoxicated podcast.
3
And
words.
shut up, Santino.
Shut up, Santino. There it is.
There it is. Boom goes the dynamite.
Great job, guys.
You know, the Batista bomb, the spine buster, the shaking of the ropes, the muscles. I mean, man.
The selfishness really speaks to you. Could never play well on a team
Well,
when he didn't get his way.
Here's something. Basketballs don't hold grudges, but you seem not to be a basketball because you're really holding a grudge against me for some reason.
Basketball's nothing but a game of grudges.
Well, here's the thing. I take that personally.
You take everything personally because you think it's all about you.
Well, here's the thing. If you would, shoot me a text and, explain to me why the hell you're mad and why all this hostility that started,
These guys. What is the matter with them? They're supposed to be a group of fans, friends. Let me see what he thinks. Yo, Hot Rod, what's up? It's Turtle Buddy. So, I'm good. I'm great. I just gotta talk to you about something. So, dude, you've been paying attention to the LIM saga. I know, you would think for one, we as members that we'd have some say in what's going on, but we're not included in this. I feel like we're a little bit of outcast, sort of, but I'm not gonna dwell on that because we're all supposed to be one big group of friends, having a good time. It's really the main guys that are fighting over what? Exactly. They're I don't know what they're fighting over, honestly. They're like a bunch of egomaniacs at this point. So I was talking to Chet, and even though it's hard to understand him, he does understand me. So I kind of had an idea, and I want to run it by you too. So I was thinking